Greetings, and welcome to the Roast with Friends podcast. It's your boy JayMan, joined again with my co-host C-Rock. C-Rock, you want to tell them what's going on with it?
What's up, guys? It's C-Rock, and like I do every episode, I'm the one tasked with begging to people to like and subscribe and follow. Please, niggas, do this for us. You know, we trying to get some traction. Hey, get in the comment section and tell us what we doing right, what we doing wrong too. So please. But thank you for watching.
Keep it going, play this your episode.
Oh yeah. Normally I switch back to you, but I guess I'm not switching back to JayMan. So all right, we got our lovely co-host, as you already know, because the camera already went on her. Once again from the Dope podcast. Introduce yourself, girl.
My name is Elise. I also go by CharmingEllise, and you can watch me on the Dope podcast on YouTube.
Yeah, go check them out. Check them out. So this one we're gonna go with a little bit more of a serious topic. We're gonna talk about first date etiquette. We're gonna follow up. And of course, we need a lovely lady with us. Because fellas, a lot of rules and things that you can and I don't want to say can or can't do, but you should or shouldn't do on a first date. So, Elise, why don't you get us CharmingEllise? Why don't you start us off? Let's go real broad. What do you think what's one thing that will, besides going Dutch?
Oh my God!
What's one thing that will turn you off on a first date that might stop you from getting a second, or stop a gentleman from getting a second date?
I'm gonna have to go with excessive physical contact. I'm not one that wants to be touched if I don't know you, and I feel like that's like one that happens often. I'm just like, oh, gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Mm-hmm. All right, keep your hands to yourself.
You guys don't do that.
Folks.
Do you guys do that? Well,
you're
married.
I've been dating.
Yeah, right.
I've been dating.
I'm really good at picking up social cues and like body language. So if I feel she's uncomfortable, then no. But I mean, if she's like leaning into you and, you know, doing the same thing, then yeah, it just depends on the situation. But no, I wouldn't, on the first date, I wouldn't just automatically, you know, just be all up on some girl that I just met. So just depends, I guess.
Yeah, and like I said, I ain't been dating since the Bush administration, but nah, you know, whatever that did. I'm just saying. Been married for a long time.
How many administrations ago was that?
Oh, that was
17.
Yeah, it feels like 17. It was only 2, but god damn it, 3. I guess
it wasn't. Yeah, because Biden, Trump, Obama. Dang, 2 terms. Oh my god,
it's a long time, player. You know, like I've been off the market for a long time, player. You know, but it is what it is. I guess. Hey, you dating? So I guess all y'all hoping to be off the market for a long period of time, right?
Eventually, yeah, that'd be nice.
Right now,
so I won't have to experience these things, you know.
All right, so conversation-wise, on the first date, what would you say are topics that people shouldn't bring up? I'm gonna start with you, JayMan. What would you say the men shouldn't talk about?
Honestly, I'm probably the worst person to ask. I'm really open. I actually want to get into like the really deep stuff right away. So you're gonna have to pass that one to Elise, because I'm going in as long as she's okay with it. So go ahead, Elise.
What?
JayMan talking about economic policy on the first date and shit.
I don't get into politics. I don't fuck with politics, but I mean, like, you know, like kind of like goals and if you believe in aliens, you know, she has any conspiracy theories. I always ask weird questions like that because it's always open-ended, you know, so I'm a weirdo. So
those aren't bad questions, though, in my opinion. Like they're really not, you know. It's fun. It's a little off, but it's fun. You know?
Y'all be like, damn, you got a fat ass. Do you believe in aliens? It makes them laugh. It makes them
Yeah.
laugh, so it works for me. So
Yeah.
you know, you can't just say, "Damn, you got a fat ass" on the first day. But if you follow up with, "Do you believe in aliens?"
Yeah.
she's kind of confused for a little. What the fuck this nigga just say to me? Yep, I did say you have a nice ass, and also, do you believe in aliens? So
You can't just say that and then let it sit there. You know, damn, you got a fat ass. And then just get quiet. Like,
yeah,
what's
that's
taking the
awful.
waiter so long?
That's awful.
You know? Oh my God, I'm ready to get my appetizer. You know, but
Check, please.
you know, Elise, is there any topics that you wouldn't talk about on the first date?
Man, I'm not gonna lie. Do not talk to me about politics on the first date. Politics, religion, to me, if we're on a date and we're the same religion and we want to talk about that, that's cool because I'm pretty religious. But do not, I just feel like that is, you're asking for it if you discuss politics because you might end up in a knife fight before the date's over.
Yeah.
Like,
And I want to throw this in. I want to throw this in to go off what you said because I see this a lot. I seen this. I was going to Raising Cane's and this dude, it was a young dude. He pulled up and he had this truck. He had a big ass Trump flag on the back. And he hops out with a Trump t-shirt and a Trump hat. And I'm like, all right, look, that just dries the vagina up right there, bro. Like, you can. I'm not saying don't support people, but God damn it, don't make it part of your personality like that. Like nobody needs to be like that much
I will
of a
say
Trumper.
this. There are women that he is attracting. Like he totally, I mean, he's, you know, at least, you know what, if somebody shows up with a Trump, you know, shirt on and all that stuff, at least you got the politics thing out the way. Like it's not gonna be awkward, you know.
Yeah. But I don't know. To me, that just has what my man FD Signifier says, scaring away the maiden's energy. That just screams I'm a douchebag. But you know, whatever. I wouldn't.
Not all women feel like that. I mean, you know, there are women that support Trump too. So I mean, hey, it's like a mating thing. It's like, you know, when birds have their feathers and stuff like that to attract the mates they need. Like, you know, I don't have an issue with. I mean, I personally don't want a lot of attention going, and I feel like that's arrogant on all like across the board. Like I see guys pull up at all kinds of stuff.
I don't think it's like
not like
the fact that he supported Trump. It was just how excessive it is. Like you don't need to be that political about something. Like we get it, you support Trump, but it's just like it look weird with a lot of things. It look weird. Like I'm a 49ers fan. We look weird if I pulled up and it was a 49ers fan. You hop out with all that shit. It looked less weird, in my opinion. But it's just like, hey, dude, like, you want to stand out, fellas, but not like in that way. You know what I mean? Like you got to find a good way to stand out, not like per se a negative one. And when you're gonna pick something as polarizing as that, you're gonna scare off a lot of potential mates. You might get a few, but you're gonna scare off more than you're gonna attract. So doing that, I would avoid that. Like I'm a lefty, but I never wear anything politically charged. Like that, nobody needs to know my opinions on a shirt. You know, like yeah, support socialism. Like nobody needs to fucking know that. Nobody cares, you know. So I personally would avoid it. That's mine. That's what, you know. But
I feel like if you have any political sticker on your car, I will say that's a little bit of a turn. I don't like. I see. What is the last one? The Biden Harris one. And I'm just when I'm leaving the grocery store, you know, I cut them off. I'm like, you know, like I'm not happy with anybody's politics, so don't put it on the car. I just, you know. Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just gonna come off weird, but definitely at the dinner table on a first date, yeah, I wouldn't speak about politics. All right, cool. So next topic, what would you like a man to talk about on the first date? What would you not listen?
Oh, sorry.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Was it me? Was it my turn?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, Jay, I don't think Jay cares what a man says to him on the first date.
Yeah. I just want him to look in my eyes, and just so I can
tell me I'm special.
Nah, but
plans and intentions. I feel like that is the the kicker right there, because you can find out. I mean, it lets you know right off the bat, like, are we gonna go this way? Are we gonna go this way? Like, and like 5-year plans. If you're working at a burger stand, at least let me know, like, you're taking some college classes, don't, I feel like it's like you're going to a job interview. Like, let people know what you have going for yourself. Don't lie.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stress that one enough. Don't lie. Don't lie. I'm scared to say this, but I had somebody tell me they were in law enforcement one time. I think it was security. Like,
I mean, yes, same way.
Wait, I didn't hear what you said. You said they were in law enforcement, and then what?
and they were just like one of the security guards.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so
All right.
kind of.
Which is like, that's not, I mean, yeah, I guess kind of, but you could just be honest about that. Like, you don't have to. Because if somebody comes up to us in the parking lot and I'm over here thinking you a cop, I'm like, I'm walking my chest out, and then you pull out, I don't know, a flashlight.
Yeah,
Like,
she hits the fan. He's like, top flight security, Craig. The world, Craig. What the hell is this nigga doing? He's supposed to be protecting me. He's top flight security.
All right, what?
He's like, don't worry, babe. I've been trained for this. And he just takes down some notes of what the dude looks like and then calls the cops. Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm observing and reporting. I'm just doing what I've been trained to do. Nah, but yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that, though. If you're a security guard, the world needs those. Like, that's that's okay. It's, I'm just saying, don't lie about it.
Own that shit. Yeah.
I don't want people thinking I hate security guards.
As soon as this gets posted, gonna be some nigga anger typing some security guard, anger typing a comment about how disrespectful and shallow you are. But hey, but gentlemen, she spoke on something like real serious. Like, hey man, you gotta have a plan with your life, and you gotta have something going on with yourself if you want to get not just her, but any woman like that, or most women that are worth having. You know what I mean? So that's a good thing. Don't just sit around. Like I said, I was a gamer, still am, but like you can't sit around playing Halo all day.
First we're gonna play Call of Duty, and then we're gonna head over to GTA,
yeah. You gotta have. I mean, see, me and JayMan, we were just a little different. Like I said, JayMan was always more when it came to that aspect of like our lives. He was always more responsible than I was, but we both always made money. Like the legit way, of course, but we just always made money. So that aspect of us was never like in question. We just weren't gonna sit around. We always just kind of wanted to be out and about. And if you're gonna do that, you gotta have money. You know what I mean? We always So, that aspect was never like a problem, but some so some of y'all, you gotta have a plan, because you were asking a woman to share her life with you, and then what is that life gonna look like? She wants to know, just like she said, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, where this dude gonna be able to buy me a house? Is this dude gonna, what is he gonna do? You can't sit on a date and just say, "Oh yeah, what do you do?" Well, I exist.
I've been doing it a long time. 35 years now.
Like just have a plan, have something, that you're gonna do. So you brought up you're okay with the security guard. Any type of occupation you wouldn't date at least? Like what if you met a dude and he was a stripper?
Hell, okay. No, okay, that's one that I wouldn't date. I wouldn't date a stripper, because I'm not gonna lie.
Then they had OnlyFans.
How well is the OnlyFans doing? How many subscribers?
Yeah, there we go.
Businesswoman, I like that.
You don't want to date somebody who's showing their feet for 2 people. Like, just do you take care of your feet? How are they gonna look in the next 5 years?
You're like, I got an OnlyFans.
I mean, a career would be, as long as they have a career, a steady career where they can contribute to my life. And I say contribute, not pay for it, because, I went to school to use it. So, somebody who compliments me preferably, but the inside is better than the wallet. So as long as they got a decent job and a 5-year plan, but if you are working like a job, well, come on now, we all know like the minimum wage jobs, then I need to at least that you know that you have a plan. But now I'm at the age where I'm like, I don't know if I would do that, because I don't know if I necessarily have the time to wait for you to execute your plans. So you gotta be somewhere that I can work with.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see if I heard that correctly.
Oh
just
my
like
God.
she said, no. I'm not gonna sit here and try to misquote you or nothing personally to make no type of joke, but because he's spitting on this. You know what I mean?
Okay.
She said the inside is more important than the outside. She said, hey, you gotta have something going so you can contribute to her life, because so she's looking for a partner. And yeah, she's not per se looking for a per se work in progress in her mid-20s. You know what I mean? Because
Chris,
you should. What's up?
I'm 30.
In her mid-20s. Anyway, you look like you're in your mid-20s. I mean, I'm sorry.
Thank you. No. That's a compliment. Thank you.
But yeah, she's not looking for a project. So it goes right back to her saying like, hey, you gotta have something going. And a lot of people, like, you might look at a lot of internet content, and then people would tell you like women are they're just gold diggers. They just want a man who makes 6 figures and shit like that. And it's funny because a lot of men say it, but I've never met a woman who said that. Like 40 years on this planet, I've never met a woman who was just like, oh, I need a man who makes 6 figures. He has to make that much money. Like, I'm not saying they're not out there, but most women wouldn't say that. They just don't want your ass to be broke, and be a bum. And just like you said, they want you to contribute. And contribute isn't just financially. You contribute emotionally. You contribute spiritually. You contribute in the home with taking care of the duties inside the home, contribute with all that. So that's not just, oh, hey, I pay half the bills, so I'm gonna sit around and let you do everything else. You know what I mean? So,
take out that trash.
Yeah, wash dishes. You gotta do all that shit, man. So, man, you gotta like kind of understand that. It's just right here, like I said, a lovely young lady right here is telling it to you straight up. So, I'll go bring it up because we talked about it on the Fumble in a Relationship. Would you dare to do it with a bucket?
Is it paid off?
A paid off bucket.
That dude got a 2007 Sentra that he's still making payments on. Like, girl, I only got like 5 more. We got like 5 more payments, then she all mine.
She's all mine. I mean, if it's clean, honestly, like, I don't know. Like, I would hope they would have a stable car, like a stable means of transportation. But I might consider it. It depends on what kind of bucket. Is it clean? Is it paid off? Is it a classic in the works? Because I can appreciate a good car. You remember Jay, my brothers used to have a Nova.
Oh shit, that motherfucker was loud as a motherfucker. God damn. That motherfucker was a beast. Jesus Christ, I can hear it right now. That motherfucking loud ass car. He couldn't sneak up on nobody. 5 miles away, Orion on the way. How you know? He'd be in about 3-4 minutes. Loud ass fucking car. Every time he used to drive through the fucking parking lot in high school, he set off every motherfucking car alarm and shit. God damn, I forgot about that thing. Yeah.
It's a classic though, yeah.
And it worked. Never broke down.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah.
We can work on that together. It was,
So yeah, exactly.
And then just to get back to the first date, the one thing I will say about a first date is kind of what C-Rock alluded to in a previous episode is don't go on a first date with any expectations. Don't expect a hug, don't expect a kiss, don't expect, to hook up after. Don't expect a second date. And, like C-Rock said, if you're going to a restaurant to have some bomb food, expect some bomb food.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can expect a conversation. I mean,
Yeah.
if not, then I mean, there's probably no reason to go on a second date anyway. So that's the one thing I'll say
That's what
about
happiness
first
is.
dating.
That's what happiness is. Reality minus expectations. You get more out of a situation when you have no expectations in it, because you're going to come off less desperate. You know what I mean? So,
I like that.
but one thing like I was trying to do, and that's why like I mainly talk to Elise is, a skill set that, I say me and JayMan have, a lot of men have, is knowing how to talk to a woman and get her to talk about herself, but not make it seem like you're interviewing them, but get the information you kind of want to know about them, but learn how to ask the questions in that way. Fellas, when you're on a date, one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to get on that motherfucker grandstanding. You should try to speak as little bit about yourself, but try to get her to speak about as much herself. Try to get her to get as comfortable with you as possible. So you don't get on the date like, hey, like if you were going to go on a date with Elise, I'll get on there like, yeah, wow, I graduated from SC, I was super dope, awesome. I was number one in my class and blah, 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 blah. And I just, I went to law school and I went to blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, you're going to come off wrong. You can bring all that up. Let her ask it to you though. And
I don't
always
know. I'm not
divert
gonna
it
lie.
back to yourself.
I like when the guy talks, especially because I'm socially awkward, but that's just for me. Like, so, I mean, I can talk, but you better contribute. Like, especially don't have me just sitting there like, because people ask me all the time, like, oh, so what do you do for fun? And then it's just like silence. I watch TV.
Yeah. But just like that, like if you were to ask me that, like a girl's asked me on a date, so hey, what do you do for fun? Like, okay, I say I used to snowboard a lot, but oh yeah, me and my best friend Drake, we used to do that. I'm like, oh yeah, man, I snowboard, and then like this. Oh yeah, snowboarding is fun. Like, oh yeah, have you ever been snowboarding? Oh yeah, hey man, maybe one time, hey, maybe we can go sometime or something like that. So you use it to a future plan. You use it to divert it back. I'm not saying not to talk about yourself. I'm saying not to go off on like not a rant, but just long-winded time about yourself on the date. You can talk about where you graduated. You can talk about all that, but always loop it back and involve her into the conversation. So it's like, oh yeah, oh, did you go to school? Yeah, I went to SC. I went here. Yeah. Oh, how was that? Oh yeah, it was dope. Hey, did you go to college? Like, oh no, oh and if she did, hey, oh, so what school did you go to? Oh, hey, yeah, I've heard, about that school. I heard it's pretty good. What'd you study? It's nice. Oh, what'd you study? Oh, I studied this. Now, what do you plan on doing? But always loop it back and don't just get in there.
Yeah. Having that transition, what's it called? Transactional communication where it's bouncing off. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what I meant. Cause like, I meant more like, like I said, when I meant grandstanding, that's just like literally like talking about yourself for 5 minutes. And like, yeah, I work at this firm and I'm number one salesman. And then it's like 10 minutes that went by you to talk about your goddamn self the whole time. You're going to come off wrong, like, so it's learning, just like I said, like they teach you that in like classes, like, what I do with like how to interview people is to get them comfortable. And then you pick up on certain things and get them to tell on themselves. But like, it's not like I'm trying to get you to tell on yourself. I'm trying to get information because you should be doing the same thing that she's doing. Like a woman, she's sort of interviewing you. She wants to see what your 5-year plan is. She's already said she wants to see your 5-year plan, and she wants to see. I think you should be doing the same thing if you're seriously dating this person. Like, hey, but you don't want to ask her, hey, so what's your 5-year plan? You want to allude to that in something by asking the question a certain way. Like, hey, so yeah, I plan on doing this and I will hopefully to become a partner. Like, oh, so yeah, what do you do for your career? Oh, I do this and that. Oh, and then get her to, talk about herself, you know what I mean? So that's what I mean. Like, that's where conversation skills come into. Because, gentlemen, I'm afraid that getting a woman's a social thing. You can't be awkward
Not
and
true.
have
I'm
much
awkward.
success. No, you're very social. You can be. I'm not saying you can't be awkward to some level because we all are. I'm saying you can't be completely socially awkward. There's certain things you're
Mhm.
gonna have to get over.
I don't
Like
know. Some
that.
some girls like quirky dudes like that. I'm not going to agree
Yeah.
with that part. But
I
one thing
mean,
I
I'm
will
not
say
saying.
to your point, um, something it's a tactic I know of, but I never use because I really don't want to listen to people talk. Um, so this is a tactic that can help some fellas out. Is when you are speaking to a girl on a date, whatever she says, like take the last three words and just repeat it back to her. Like she says, like ask her how was your day. She'll, oh, I had to go to the grocery store, grab some vegetables. And you say, oh, you got some vegetables? Oh yeah, like I'm trying to eat more vegetables with my dinner, and I've been trying to eat healthier and like going to the gym, stuff like that. It's like, oh, going to the gym? Like, what are you working at the gym? And then just keep repeating the last 2 to 3 things she says,
Mhm.
and you can get her to talk for a long time. Like I said, this is a tactic I don't use, I just know of. So just a little quick tip to help anybody who's has problems sparking conversations. And the good thing about this conversation is most people like talking about themselves, especially if you're asking them to talk about themselves. Some people, they want to talk about themselves, but they won't because they feel it's rude. But if you continue probing, and like she might not even realize it, you could do it 5, 6, 7 times in a row. She might be been talking for like 10 minutes. As long as you're enjoying the conversation, you can just keep it going for it's literally endless. It's almost like all the parents out there, when your kid is
Yeah.
like 5, 6 years old and you're like, oh, they'll just be like, oh, daddy, that dog's brown. Why are dogs brown? You're like, oh, well, sometimes dogs are brown, sometimes they're black. Why? Oh, well, sometimes the mom is this, just kind of like that. Kids just ask why. I mean, obviously, as a grown adult, you can't just say why. Why? So don't
Yeah.
do that. I'm just giving you an example of, that's a way to get somebody to keep talking that you're interested in and you're out on a date on.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. That's totally worked. Now that I'm looking
Yeah.
back on it, I'm like, this nigga just said the last 3 things that I said every time.
You don't
That's
realize it because especially if you do it smoothly, you don't
Yeah.
even realize it.
Yeah.
Oh
Hey,
my
but what I
Like
was
for
saying.
example, go ahead, C-Rock.
No, but what I was saying was like, I'm not saying that you can't be awkward. Like we both know we're awkward. It's about it's. I guess I get what you're saying because me saying don't be awkward is like saying don't be scared. It's like no, you're gonna be scared, but you gotta like learn to sometimes overcome fears, and you gotta learn to overcome awkwardness in a certain situation and learn how to deal with it and not let it like control you on some level. If I don't want to get too deep into it, but like if you have those, like I think I saw this on a different podcast. It's called Waving the Red Flag, and they made a good point. They're like, hey man, dating is the only thing to where you do have to change. If you want to do it successfully, you have to change to sort of try to be more accepted by more people. You know what I mean? So if you're awkward, you're limiting your experiences. If you're not learning to overcome that stuff, is what I'm saying, is what I meant to say. So you gotta, like, it's gonna be extremely hard to date if you're afraid of social situations, is just all I'm saying. Because you're gonna have to. Nobody's gonna want to, oh hey, you want to date? Oh yeah, let's just have dinner at my house. Like, no. She's gonna want to go to a park. She's gonna want to go to a restaurant. So if you can't like deal with social situations, you're gonna have an extremely hard time. Not saying that you're never gonna meet somebody, but you have to sort of do things to get more accepted by more people. That's just all I meant. But
No, you just kind of use the word awkward wrong then in a sense.
yeah,
That's more
yeah,
like being shy and antisocial. So
yeah,
yeah, I agree with that point. You can't just not know what to say or be really scared. And
yeah,
unfortunately, you just got to work on your confidence. That's something that you internally have to do. So yeah, I agree
yeah,
with that point.
yeah.
And
Again,
then
you're right.
unless anybody has anything else to say about the first date, we got to go backwards because there's a viral video that we need to talk about. So before we move on to Elise or C-Rock, is there any other points you want to make about first dates that you think is important?
I don't like them. I don't.
Okay. I'm right there with you.
I hate the first date.
That's why I like making it awkward. Like I ask
Mhm.
silly questions, random questions, just to, like, even if we don't have a second date, like I'm pretty sure she's gonna remember the nigga that asked if she believes in aliens and has a fat ass. So, you know, I just like to make it fun because I don't like first dates either. Like I don't like answering those stupid ass, just small talk questions. Oh, what do you do for work? Oh, what do you do for fun? Like I don't care about shit like that. So like, if I ask a woman that, like she asked me that answer, ask her back, I might accidentally zone out and not even hear her. So that's why I go for the deep stuff. But,
hey, not a bad idea.
Yeah, just dive right on in because you're gonna get the small talk just automatically. That's gonna come on its own. If you like somebody and you go on 5, 6, 7 days of small talk's gonna automatically happen. So, you know, ask them about aliens, ask them about conspiracy theories, ask them morality questions. You know, that's a great icebreaker.
And if you don't have any, I know a podcast of people and they go over them all the time, dude. You know, they go over morality questions, dude. You know, so I mean, you can borrow some of those that we used. I used to like it's like first dates. There was the whole like not just curiosity, but just this, you know, the newness. You know, it's exciting meeting a new person sometimes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that aspect of it. And you know, like I said, I think the thing that helped me perfect it the most was like I say all the time, just not having expectations. And just things got so much better for me with that, you know. And
like you're married. That was like 20 years ago.
Yeah. Damn.
I mean, no, that's no shade. No. I mean, obviously you did something right 20 years ago. That's what I was alluding to. Like you did it.
What the hell, you know, old ass nigga. You've been married for 20 years. Damn, Elise.
You don't know how rough it is out here. That's what I'm saying. It is rough out here.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. It was.
I said rough out here for a pimp.
Man, not even if it's good out here for a pimp.
And people don't even get that reference no more. That's how old we getting, man. People are just like somebody listening, like hustle and flow. What the fuck is that?
You
know Terrence Howard? Who the hell is Terrence Howard? Ludicrous. What? It's ludicrous that you brought that up. That movie up. That's what's ludicrous. No, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Nah, it was, you know. Nah, I'm gonna talk about this in the next topic. We gotta go a little, like JayMan said, a little backwards. We gotta we've nicknamed him Sad Boy, but that we gonna talk about this viral clip that's been going around of, I guess, the young gentleman who got stood up on a first date. So
I just left a restaurant after waiting 30 minutes for a date to show up, and apparently I got stood up. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm trying to do everything right to be a gentleman. I brought flowers. I've been consistent talking with this girl for 2 weeks, trying to get to know what she likes, what she doesn't like. I made plans. I picked the restaurant, the day, and the time. You know, I've done everything to be just the kind of guy that would value somebody's time. Like, I'm just looking for my person. I'm just looking for the one that I guess is out there for me. I mean, I want to be somebody's husband someday, father. I'm trying to do everything that's right, and I just get stood up. Like, my feelings didn't even matter. Sitting there eating a meal by myself and realizing that nobody even cares about people anymore. Like, alien dating shouldn't even be this hard. It shouldn't be this hard to find somebody. It shouldn't be this difficult to fall in love, to be kind to one another. Like, what? Ladies, tell me, what did I do wrong?
All right, so I got so much to say about this clip, but you want to go first, Jared?
Nah, I'm gonna at least go first.
All right, Elise.
Because
I'm not gonna lie.
she has the nicest answer.
Oh,
ahead,
that's showing the direction this is gonna go. I feel so bad. I don't care who you are. Nobody deserves to be stood up like that in this day and age. You don't have to find a payphone. You don't have to. I don't even know what they did before payphones. Smoke signal, like you. I feel like that was just so wrong on that female's part. Like, if you stand me up, you better be in the ICU, unconscious, like fighting for your life. Because I just feel like that was, and he was so sad. I believe it really did happen because it was so emotional.
Mm-hmm.
It was so emotional. I feel for him. I actually like went on when I first saw the video. I was one of the ones in the comments, and I was like, if he ever sees this, let him know that I will take him out personally for like a dinner or something like that, because nobody deserves to be treated like that.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Nobody. No, thank you.
I'm compassionate with him about that. Like, yeah,
oh my God,
that's where, yeah, I am really compassionate because, like, yeah, that's it does suck to get stood up like that. You know, he just in the restaurant, just waiting by himself with flowers. So yeah, that's a little fucked up. So, but go ahead.
It
Jenny.
doesn't take much. I'm sorry, just like it doesn't take much to send a message. That's what I just never understood. Like, even if you got to lie, like, oh, my grandma's in the hospital or anything, I think they could have at least sent him a message. That's all I'm saying.
Straight up.
I agree 100%. It's so easy to just send a text, you know, say, hey, I'm not gonna make it, sorry. And then if you don't want to talk to that person no more, like, you don't even have to explain that part. Some people are bad at confrontation, don't even want to explain why they're ghosting them. And to be honest, that's perfectly fine. You don't owe anybody an explanation, especially if it's before the first date. So, I mean, I know a lot of people may not agree, but I think that ghosting is communication enough. But at the very least, you could have let him know so he didn't get all dressed up, you know, go get flowers, you know, break his heart in a sense. But on the other hand, like, you can't get on the internet, make a post of yourself, making yourself cry, being all emotional. You just can't do that because a lot of people aren't going to take you serious. It is not a normal human trait to get a camera, put it up in front of your face and start crying and being emotional. Because how much of that is fake? How much of that is he making it up on his own? How much is he exaggerating? No, my thing is, when it comes to the beginning, like, if somebody ghosts me or flakes on me, like, yeah, it would probably hurt my feelings too, but I'm gonna take that L in silence. I'm gonna just take my flowers. You know, maybe there's a couple at the restaurant, like, hey man, I don't mean no disrespect. You know, my date flake. You know, you're gonna have him, something like that. But the bottom line I'm trying to make is, you know, both situations are really lame to me. You know, two lames don't make it right any way, case or form. Like I said, he's more. He is, as much as that hurt, as emotional as it was, 100% for him to feel that way. I'm okay with that, but there's no reason to get on camera, literally have the phone out in front of you like you're taking a selfie, talk about what happened to you, and then start crying. And also, you can tell it was deeper than just that night, because you don't just cry when a stranger stands you up. He probably has a pattern of things not working out with a woman. And obviously, I don't know this man personally, but just the vibe I get from him is he's what I call a transactional nice guy. For anybody that doesn't know what a transactional nice guy is, it's the guy that will take you out on a date, do everything right, you know, open the door, get you flowers, but he expects a kiss at the end of that date. You know, I paid for the meal, I did this, I did that, I was really nice, you know, pulled up your chair, had you sit down, I picked you up if you asked me to pick you up. You know, I got you dessert. He expects a kiss at the end of the night. Okay, fine. They go on a second date, does the same thing, does everything right, pays for the meal, opens your door, tells you you're beautiful, maybe gets you flowers again. Now the second date, maybe he's expecting for you to go back to his place or go back to her place. In his mind, he's like, I'm doing all these nice things, therefore I deserve something in return. And then on the third date, that's the date where he 100% expects sex. And if he doesn't get sex, he's thinking of it transactionally. I took this girl out on 3 dates. Maybe it's 60, 70 bucks a date. What's that? About $200, right? So he spent $200 over the course of 3 dates, you know, texting you good morning, this and that. And at this point, he feels like you owe him sex because he just spent $200 on 3 dates and it should be escalating. Now, I have no idea. I have no idea about this man or his morals or what type of person he is. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but the way he was talking about how he expects dating to be easier, and it means he's having a tough time dating. It's not just one time. So this means it happened more than once. And at that point, I think you have to also look internally as to why this keeps happening. And that's my last point. I'll go ahead and let C-Rock take it from here.
And you hit on so much in that, Don. Like, and it's funny. A lot of it, like, I thought exactly the same way. You know, you framed it much better. You know, the transactional nice guy. I was like, it came off to me a little manipulative. How he was just like, oh well, I brought the flowers, I did this, I did that, I did everything that was expected to me. And like, I left a comment in the comment section. I'm like, well, did you do those things because those are things you do, or did you do them because you thought that's what's needed to do? Like, it's this, you know, like it's a video game or something. Like, oh, if I do this and this and that, then I beat the boss, you know, like, so it came off on some level of like manipulation, like a level of manipulative. And a lot of dudes, like I said in my comment, I was like, a lot of you guys aren't really nice guys. Not being a nice guy is just your angle that you're using to get some pussy. So you're just like, oh, you know, I'm gonna play this nice guy role, but you don't really think of that woman any differently than like a douchebag thinks of her. You know what I mean? You see her as an object. Like, you're nice toxic, and a good example of nice toxic is like Drake, the rapper Drake. He's nice toxic. Like, he's extremely, like, he's no less toxic than like the Baby or Little Baby or any of these rappers. He's just nice, you know? Like, I can think of a line right now.
Packaged nicer.
She can win the Grammy. I just treat her like a nominee. Say, oh, you treat her like a nobody, even though she's accomplished. Like, sounds just like what the Baby would do, or Little Baby, or all these douchebag rappers would do. You're just a pretty boy who does it. You know what I mean? So he gave off a little bit of that toxic nice guy who's just playing the nice guy role, like JayMan said. And also too, when he alluded to you know, dating being hard, it's like, well, yeah, dating should be hard. Like I've said this before in other episodes, dating should be hard. You're not going to be compatible with everybody. You're not going to be on the same wavelength as everybody, you know, at the same time. You know what I mean? So dating's going to be hard. It's going to be challenging. And, you know, I also too thought it was like, hey, he has a problem dating, you know, because like, it sucks to get stood up, but you're like, oh, I've been texting this girl for 2 weeks. It's like, so you don't know her. Like, how can you be that hurt because a girl you didn't know didn't show up to a date? Like, you know, like, how could that hurt you? Yeah.
Pattern.
And there's something that he's not doing right, but he isn't diagnosing the problem. He, you know, and a lot of males fall into, females too, but I only speak to males, you know, but a lot of males do this. They won't diagnose properly what they're doing wrong in the dating scene, and they just get frustrated, you know? So, or they get like a sad boy like this dude. So I just think like, yeah, like that whole, and just like you brought it up, that ain't normal to film that. Like, I wouldn't do it. Like, that comes off to a level of manipulative, you know, like.
I mean, I think that's a new thing for people in this day and age to hop on the phone and give their opinions, because, oh, sorry about that one. Because I mean, I looked at his his TikTok. And
Mhm.
it really seems like that's his outlet in life, is that, because he just looks a little bit lonely. When
Yeah.
I looked him up, he just looked like a lonelier guy. So that might be his only outlet,
Mhm.
to speak to anybody. And I feel bad that it's a pattern, but I feel like even me, like, I think the reason why I was so like touched by it is because I felt like that before. Like, I'm like, why is this so hard? Like, I know I have flaws, but I'm not, so more flawed than everybody else. So I feel like it touched me like as a single person, like, because that was sweet. And I wish somebody would be on time when I go on a date. I wish somebody brought me flowers,
Mhm.
but I feel like a lot of the people who like me, like, wanted to make it up to him and stuff like that were like, I felt like that before. And I'm sorry you feel like that. It's really garbage feeling. And I feel, you
Yeah.
know, yeah, that's why I feel for him. It's just, that's sad. It's
So
the world we
Yeah.
live in too.
so
But
just
it,
Sorry.
to ask you a quick question, Elise, anything about what me and C-Rock said, does it resonate with you at all, as far as, maybe him potentially being a transactionally nice guy and that's why things don't work out? Did you get that type of vibe? Or was it just, you just think he's a really nice guy who just happens to get taken advantage of a lot?
I think that the transactional ice guy thing almost threw me off my feet, because I'm like, that's a thing. But
Hmm.
I mean, I totally believe it. Him, I don't think he has, just because he looks so lonely, and I don't think he has expectations that high. I wouldn't, if he took me out on a date, he doesn't really look like the guy who would be like, okay, it's been 3 days. Like, he looks like a guy who would try to keep me happy by any means, so I don't, if we're being
Okay.
honest. That's the kind
mhm.
of vibe I get from him. But I do know that there are guys like that. I don't think he's one of them, because I think it takes a little bit of arrogance and pride to do that. Like, oh, I know I'm gonna get some, like, on the third date. He looks like he would be blessed, like, he would be grateful to even have a second date. And
Hmm.
I mean, I'm sure he has some demons. He look kind of antisocial, but that still, I feel like that's not even right. That broke my heart. And I think that the new, like, the you notice, like, everybody tells everything on the phone now. Like, it used to be, I will pick up and call my girl and be, oh, see, that's a good time. Oh, phones don't even do that anymore. I would pick up my phone and call my girl and let her know all this and that. A lot of people these days, they just, take a video and they put it on Instagram, Twitter. I don't think they do the Facebook anymore. I don't think so.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I get you. I can see how you can see how, or you can think he was a nice guy. I just, and I get, like, how we describe the transactional nice guy, but it's not like maybe a level of arrogance to where they think that way. Because remember, like, we talked about it in the gamer girl episode, about how, like, there could be people who are dorks, or part of like a friendly group in society, but they can still be assholes. And it's just like,
Mhm.
well, yeah, he might be a little lonely and a little like shy, but he can still be a misogynist. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it's
Yeah.
just the little things, like, I guess, me and JayMan just picked up, like, that are just like, it had me doubting a little bit, like, there's certain things, maybe it's a different generation, but it was
Yeah.
just certain, me and JayMan would have just handled it differently. And so when we see men handle it a certain way, or handle it like this, we're automatically skeptical, because it comes off performative. It comes off like he's playing the nice guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hmm. And
I
then I
did
just
go on.
gotta
Oh, sorry.
go ahead,
No, you go.
Elise.
You know. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, like, no.
All you.
Oh man. I went on his TikTok because, like I said, I'm one of those girls. I'm gonna look up some stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
he had another video on there, and it was saying, it was a girl saying that she broke up with somebody because they were broken, had no money. And then
Hmm.
the clip cuts to him saying, this is why we were savages, guys. Like, this is why we do X, Y, and Z. So, like, you're right, both of you are right. He definitely has been hurt before, and he has some kind of resentment issues. And I think
Hmm.
that he needs to work on that, and get those demons out of the way, because it does affect his confidence. So yeah.
And then the thing that I was gonna say, I don't know if you've ever dealt with a guy like this, because from your comments, it sounds like you may not have. But have you ever dealt with like the lonely, manipulative guy? Like, oh, nobody wants me, nobody cares. Girls are always mean, like trying to guilt trip you into some pussy. Like, have you ever dealt with a guy like that?
Yes, I have.
He gives me those vibes. And the fact that you saw a video of him previously talking about this is why men are savages, that's a huge red flag. That just shows that the cues me and C-Rock picked up on are most likely accurate, because I didn't look at his TikTok. This is just me going off a 45-second video or something, and he's talking down to women previously, and it isn't even smart enough to delete that video after he went viral. Like that's a huge red flag. It makes me think that me and C-Rock are on the right track here. But I mean, I didn't really let you further elaborate, so I'll go ahead and let you do that on what you feel about that post you were talking about.
What post? Oh no, that was pretty much it. Like he was saying this is why we don't talk to these kinds of girls, and and that's how people get cut. Some along the lines of that.
See,
and
he's full of shit, and we didn't even do research. He's full of shit.
Well, he's been hurt before.
There's no excuse. No excuse to talk to women like that.
I talk to men like that sometimes. I'm like, another one of them ain't I kind of get like that sometimes. So
it's okay to it's understandable. It's understandable, but it's not right. It's like, you're holding all women accountable for what the ones that you've engaged with have done to you, and it's on some level wrong. You know what I mean? But he's just alluding more to his personality, and going forward, you should be a little hyper aware of the transactional nice guy and the guy who uses sympathy, because sometimes it's just an angle. Sometimes it's like it's just it's manipulation, and like I said, like
those are some real tears though.
Oh no, he's really crying.
I'm not doubting that part. It's just like, the way to go about it isn't natural.
Actors really cry. I mean, Will Smith was really crying when the dog died in a fucking
I Am Legend.
I Am Legend,
but I mean, doesn't mean he was per se sad. The dog didn't die. You know what I mean? So like, I think a lot of it he's playing a role. As I say, he has the fucking beard, salt and pepper beard like me, so he probably around my age. It's like he knows what he's doing, Like I think I would really like to get the so-called woman's, or the so-called, because I just said that because we don't even know if that's true. You know what I mean? Like that whole video don't even look like he had a restaurant. I don't hear nobody talking in the background and shit. You know what I mean? Like you can't really see.
That's because Smack That was going so hard in the background. You heard that?
Yeah, I was like, damn, I ain't heard this song in a while. That was my favorite part of the whole video.
I know. I was like, I know.
On the floor. Give me some more.
I was like, it's popping in there.
Banger, they better hang on when they throw this thing on. Eminem went off. Like, God, Eminem and Akon, what the fuck? That shit was crazy.
Now, if I was him, I would have made a U-turn, went to the club, maybe give those flowers to like 5 different girls. He'd be walking out with a clip.
You could have smacked 5 asses. Walk past, give a real smack that ass, give me on phone, smack that ass on the next one.
Make it rain with some roses. Just
there you go. Watch your thorns, player. But all right, I think we gotta.
I think you alluded to something. I had another point I want to actually bring up that you alluded to about how he's a lonely guy, and I kind of got that too. But too often now in today's society, like men will be lonely, and like they make it seem like it's women's fault. Like when it's just like, dude, like we've all been, like I said, me and JayMan, we've been single. But we were never like per se lonely like that, because we had a friend group and we always had something to do. We always had a support system, So, shit didn't work out on a date. It wasn't all that big of a deal sometimes. It's like
Mhm.
no woman's gonna come into your life and fulfill you to that level, nor should she. You know what I mean? So the mere fact that he is that lonely shows me that he has no friends too. And that's also a red flag. You know what I mean? Because it's just like how you expect to maintain a relationship with a woman and you can't even maintain relationships generally. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think he is like you said, like a lonely dude who's perpetually online, and like it's not helping. When it's just like,
Mhm.
dude, you need to not be looking for a woman. You need to be looking for stuff in your life that fulfills you, and maybe a friend group or something like that, a hobby or something. And then, because maybe he's one of that type of men who come on too strong too, because he is lonely. He tries and he meets a woman and he tries to move too fast and he tries to do certain things. So that could be harming him too. There could be a whole lot of things, but a lot of it just I don't know the dude, but there's something not right there. And all these women are like, oh, because I saw those comments too. They just like you, like, oh, I give him a date too. It's just like, damn, y'all falling for this dude. Y'all falling for the
Yeah,
spider's trap.
he might have set a net, just catch a whole lot of fish.
You know?
But on that note, we're gonna go ahead and start wrapping this thing up. However, like I said, I'm getting better at this. So before we wrap it up, I'm gonna give everyone a chance to say their piece. And the last thing I want to say is real quick. Me and C-Rock could be wrong. We have no idea. This is just the type of men we've been around, how they act around women kind of reminds me of some of the creeps that I kind of had to protect from with some of my homegirls. Just the vibe. Like I said, I could be wrong. C-Rock could be wrong, and at least could be 100% correct. I guess time will tell, or maybe we'll never know. And on that, I'll go ahead and give it to Elise if there's anything she'd like to say to close this thing out, and then I'll pass it over to C-Rock.
Just that, I think I could be wrong too. Like, that could be where I'm going. Because, I'm still single. So it's,
Mhm.
you guys could be telling me some stuff that I just walk right into like a naive person. So I think that I gained a lot of insight on this, especially me being a overly sweet person. Sometimes, I fall for stuff, but that's just really interesting. I still think old girl should have, if it was true, she should have texted him. At least text him.
Mm-hmm. We're unanimous right there. We all agree on that.
Like, what did you run out of minutes? Like, there is no excuse in this day and age. You could have DM'd him anything, but yeah. Follow me at Elise Rogers on my Instagram and follow and watch my podcast, the Real Dope Podcast on YouTube. C-Rock.
Yeah, right. Like
that was
said,
probably the best pass off we've had in the Roast with Friends podcast. So we appreciate that, Elise. That was amazing.
You
Can
dropped
you do it
that
one more
dime.
time? One more
so
time,
awkward.
Elise? Can you pass it to C-Rock like that one more? You got to talk first.
Oh, let me pass it over to C-Rock. I can do it to both of you guys.
But JayMan's right. We all speculating here, based off limited information, but also the experience that comes with the age that I've been at. I didn't seen it. Like, we know dudes more than we know dudes best because we hang around them, so yeah. But for you men out there, you can learn the lessons from this video, and I hope we laid them out a little bit. It's just no woman's ever going to fulfill you to that extent. You got to have things in your life that fulfill you, hobbies, stuff like that, friend groups, going to dates with no expectations, learn to deal with rejection because everybody gets rejected. And you don't need to videotape everything either and put it on the internet. Not everything needs to be on the internet, nowadays. So, those are some of the best things that you can do in your dating life to help you out, because nothing I mean, to women, having something going on, just like Elise said, is actually very attractive. And it's not just work, it's hobbies, it's all that, like I said. So having something going on is very attractive. And so do that. Don't be like Sad Boy and put your business on the internet. It's not cute. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on that one.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the Roast with Friends podcast. Thank you to our special guest, Elise, from the Dope Podcast. Definitely check them out. Thank you to my co-host, C-Rock. And we gone.
Chop the top on this bitch. We out of here.